Mr. Murkomen, it is about 55 million Kenyans suffering high taxation, double standards, bad roads, poor policy, among others. When Kenyans in the northern Kenya are being butchered by the Jubaland forces, it is not Kikuyus versus Kalenjins. It is Kenyans crying because the government has failed to protect them.
Lakini sisi kama chama cha Jubilee ndio wa kwanza kusema tunajiunga na Wakenya wengine kukataa finance bill 2026, reject finance bill 2026. Ukiangalia yale ambao yako kwa hiyo finance bill, unashangaa tutaishi wapi na tutaenda wapi. The cost of living is already unbearable for many. Kenyan workers, wafanyakazi wa Kenya saa hii. Sijui kama kuna mfanyakazi Kenya hii ambaye anatarajia ama anatasamia kupata payslip. Maisha ya kufanya kazi nchi sasa imekuwa kama ni utumwa. It's slavery. And Kenyan workers are paying every day over taxation. Na ukweli kwamba hii serikali imetoka kwa mpango wa IMF program. Why did they get out of the IMF program? Kwa sababu wamekataa audit. IMF inauliza audit. Na mnajua kwa nini wanakataa audit? Sisi zote tunajua kwa nini wanakataa audit. Because they have refused to accept that audit, they have gotten out of the IMF program. Sasa they are trying to look for money to plug the holes through overtaxation. That is the truth. Tuambiane ukweli na tuambie wananchi ukweli yale ambayo yanafanyika. So whether you bribe leaders of the transport sector for a day or two to get out of the street, whether you intimidate them or whatever you do, the problem does not go away. And this is the same short-termism, short-sighted way of managing the country that these people have adopted. There's a problem, throw money at it, bribe some people, or alternatively intimidate them or abduct them, or alternatively say ni kabila fulani nataka kuleta shida. You are moving all of us into a crisis and trying to profile one community. You think it is going to be fashionable? Shida ambayo iko kila mahali Kenya hii. Hata ukienda Garissa, uende wapi, shida ni hiyo kila Mkenya anapitia. Sasa kwanza kuambia wananchi eti ni maneno yanaletwa na kabila moja and so on and so forth, which doesn't make sense. Ya mwisho, there are retired presidents around the world. You know, the level of pettiness that we see from this administration is shocking. You know, some of the things that people say, these guys talk about, they can make a dog cry. The president retired, and that's all. And serikali, unajua, if you cannot manage a retired president, honestly, what can you do? Utafanya nini? You know, managing a retired president is the easiest thing, because there is an act that says what that retired president is entitled to. Na mzee amefanya kazi yake, amepumzika, ako pale huko Ichaweri, anaendelea kuangalia mambo ya wajukuu wake. Sasa wewe kazi yako ni kila siku, even at the middle of the night you dream you are having a nightmare. You naita Uhuru Kenyatta. You are going to call your wife or your girlfriend Uhuru Kenyatta in the middle of the night. Serious people. I'm telling you, let's be serious people. Kenya deserves better. We have been independent for the last 63 years. We are respected around the world and in the region. We are asking our leaders, we are better than that. Is why in Jubilee we are saying we are better than this. We would like to change this administration because Kenyans deserve better. Deserve better leadership. And what would we do so that I don't concentrate on negatives only? We would introduce transparency and management of the energy sector differently from what you see these days. We will not engage in conflict of interest. We will not lead a government where we ourselves are doing business in the oil sector. Because in doing that, because of conflict of interest, we will not be able to regulate and manage the sector effectively. We will give an opportunity to all Kenyans. We will be transparent about what we do and accountable about public affairs. If we spend money from the petroleum fund levy or the road maintenance levy, we will tell the public what we have done in that kind of way. And even if we don't tell the public for one reason or the other, we have parliament. Parliament is the representative of the people. Elected members of parliament ought to be told and ought to be explained to everything that is happening by government. Sasa, if they don't trust the rest of us, even with the so-called G2G, why don't they take it to parliament? Our representatives are in parliament. I will be very happy and satisfied myself if members of parliament were taken through all this and all this information was given to members of parliament. Sasa hii ukora unaendelea hapa ya kuibia nchi ndio imetuleta mahali tumefika. Na wananchi wakiuliza maswali ni kupiga nduru Uhuru Kenyatta. Sasa Uhuru Kenyatta ni chorus to explain everything including the incapacity to deal with things. Finally, the level of insecurity in this country is going out of hand. On this particular one, I am doing because I have an individual and personal responsibility as a former Minister of Interior. The level of insecurity in our country is going out of hand. In rural parts of this country, challenges like livestock theft and so on are on the rise. Homicide cases, cases of rape and the murder of women, femicide is becoming a crisis now in the country. You have noticed in the recent weeks what has happened. Young children raped, killed, and so on and so forth. Please, take charge. You have the law, you have the instruments. Take charge, and as you take charge, come out and engage candidly and listen to the people of Kenya. I respect and I believe everyone should respect our religious leaders. They have almost shouted themselves hoarse addressing this administration. The Conference of Catholic Bishops, the PCA leaders, the NCCK, everyone. Please listen to those men and women of God, and government should listen. But for now, we will all be holding now public engagements ourselves as we go along with our members, discussing Finance Bill 2026. Our honest view is that it should be rejected because of its draconian and punitive taxation measures that will hurt everybody in the country. Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, they don't have questions. They are very happy with what we have said. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Dear Kenyans, over the last couple of months, we have witnessed a well-structured ethnic profiling of the members of the Kikuyu community by President William Ruto. This is a well-orchestrated move ahead of the 2027 elections in what Mr. William Ruto scripted in 2007 of the 47 versus 1. We all know what led Kenyans to. We lost over 1,300 Kenyans, and hundreds of thousands of Kenyans are up to date in IDP camps. The team leader for this narrative is one Mr. Kipchumba Murkomen, seconded by Mr. Omar Hassan, the UDA Secretary General, and several government officials, including cabinet secretaries, whom we shall name here shortly. The Minister for Interior should be advised better. As a lawyer, much logic is expected of him. Reducing critical security issues into an ethnic clash between the Kikuyus and the Kalenjin affair is bad for our nation. Mr. Murkomen, as you do your simple mind games, cattle rustling in Meru is wreaking havoc. Mandera occupied by Jubaland forces, goons are taking control of several towns in Kenya. Leave politics and concentrate on your job, Mr. Murkomen. Secure Kenyans. As a cabinet minister for Interior, it is worrying to see you on a tribal charade trying to run EPRA and the energy docket on fuel prices when Kenyans are simply on their own. Secondly, Mr. Omar, the Secretary General of the Wheelbarrow Party, we want to remind you of your role in the 2007-2008 post-election violence ICC-related witness coaching against Mr. Ruto and others. Might you have forgotten when you served as a commissioner at the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, Mr. William Ruto accused you of coaching witnesses against him. In his own words, Ruto said, I also want to inform Mr. Omar Hassan, who is the schemer and the mercenary behind this whole scheme, that he cannot hire or rent or buy or sell or negotiate justice and truth. Mr. Omar Hassan, your house of lies, as described by Mr. William Ruto, seems to have become a shopping mall. Stop profiling Kenyans of Kikuyu origin. If you think it is the people of Kikuyu descent who have a problem with this government, when the truth dawns on you and your team, it will be too late to salvage yourselves. But unfortunately, you have already messed up the country. When Kenyans came out in the streets to demonstrate about high cost of fuel, mutilated payslips, dysfunctional SHA, failed education systems, it is not the Kikuyu versus the Kalenjin community. Mr. Murkomen, it is about 55 million Kenyans suffering high taxation, double standards, bad roads, poor policy, among others. When Kenyans in the northern Kenya are being butchered by the Jubaland forces, it is not Kikuyus versus Kalenjins. It is Kenyans crying because the government has failed to protect teachers, civil servants, and all employees, and Kenyans saying no to Mr. Ruto are doing so because of the personal pain they are going through, courtesy of Mr. Ruto, and not the Kalenjin community. If then we buy to your opaque argument that 55 million Kenyans are fighting Ruto because he's a Kalenjin, we then need to argue that William Ruto is the only Kalenjin in Kenya, and the 55 millions of us are all Kikuyus. So, Mr. Omar Hassan, please spare us your thoughts on negative ethnicity. On the high cost of fuel, it is unfortunate that Kenyans are being treated to conmanship and blatant open thuggery through the pump. As if the damage you have caused to Kenya is not enough, you now want to mean it is William Ruto, who is a Kalenjin, that is being profiled. The government cannot purport that the high cost of living only affects the matatu sector. Every Kenya is affected by these insensitive fuel hikes. But the good thing, the government is digging its own political grave deeper. While addressing fuel costs, address every Kenyan, not a small pocket of transport sector. Every Kenyan is affected, to the matatu sector. Do not dare increase the cost of transport or fare costs since you agreed to the 1-week negotiation with the government. Cover your own costs since you did not consult the people of Kenya while agreeing to the underhand deal. The high cost of fuel affects farmers, traders, manufacturers, and all Kenyans. So Ruto has simply messed up this country. And we ask him to address this issue and not hide behind the tribal card. How can you dare compare prices during the Uhuru Kenyatta administration and now? Are you saying that Kikuyus do not have the right to speak when things are going wrong in this country? But we all know that this balkanization is meant to hoodwink Kenyans on the punitive finance bill of the 2026-2027. Mr. Ruto and your government, if you think that these will stop Kenyans from asking questions, you are far from the reality. Kenyans are waiting for the publication of the Finance Bill 2026-2027. And we want to state here categorically that we shall not accept any punitive taxes introduced in that bill. Thank you.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, DAB Radio ndio mpango mzima.